Well, welcome everybody to day 2 of the 3-day BioPharma Job Challenge. I'm so excited to have you here. It's just us this time. We're not streaming to LinkedIn or to TikTok or any of that stuff like that. It's just the folks that take this stuff really, really seriously, that are looking to get some serious results in the job search. So in the midst of the challenge, we had some homework. We were looking into some things. Maybe you tried some stuff out. I'll check on that homework here in a second. I'm sure you did it, right? But today, here's what we've got to get done. Get your notepads ready. Get your tablet open, whatever you need. We're going to get some serious work done today. So there'll be some exercises, some demos that I'll show you, but we've got to put our plan together. So stay with me for the next half an hour. I'll make it worth your while. You invest in this, you invest in our community. I'm going to invest in you. We might even have some more one-on-one slots that open up towards the end. But I want to start you with a mindset as you think about your role in the job challenge. So whether you're helping your colleagues thinking about their jobs, their careers, whether you're a leader and you're thinking about coaching, guiding, and challenging people to ascend to the next level within the organization or beyond. If you're a mentor, that's an incredible responsibility, certainly for colleagues, but also for so many of the folks that are students and looking to get into the industry and are looking for your coaching and guidance. Or in fact, you are one of the many folks out there that are looking for a new pharma job. This is a mindset that I would like you to have, okay? Success is a shared journey. And if you've decided that biopharma career-wise is where you call home, then you know what that really means. Nothing we can accomplish in the life sciences happens alone. Success is truly a shared journey. So as you think about your journey with the job search or others, remember the mindset. Success is a shared journey. You do not have to push the rock up the hill all by yourself. There are resources, there's tools, there's tech, there's people who will take a rope and help pull it up the hill. And we're going to be playing with that mindset today as we get work done, as we think about accomplishing our job challenge. So remember that success is a shared journey, okay? So hopefully you'll take a look at the poll. Did you get a chance to play with Jobs AI? It was part of your homework assignment. I wanted you to play with it. I will let you know that as I took a look at Jobs AI before we started today, we had 3,200 uses of the tools inside the studio between when we started yesterday and today. That's incredible. By the way, that blows away my expectations. I can't believe how many people are playing with it and using it, which is just awesome. It's fantastic. We're going to be using it today as a part of thinking about how we make this process fun, easy, and productive. Most importantly, effective when it comes to the job challenge. So I'm glad that you played with it. If you haven't yet, that's okay. Just do it after the session today. You'll be able to have some fun with it. So yesterday we recapped some big things. So 3 big takeaways from yesterday. Number 1, biopharma, the umbrella, right? Biotech, pharma, biopharma, the whole thing, biopharma. $3 trillion market. That's an ecosystem. It needs to move, morph. Money has to flow. Jobs come, grow, and what have you, evolve. It's an entire ecosystem. $3 trillion. And it looks like it's growing despite some of the economic headwinds and headlines, that's for sure. Okay, so we've got that. In the US, we've got about 412,000 employees. We know we have many more, hundreds of thousands across the globe. That's for sure. And that doesn't even touch or count the money, the market size, or the employees, all of our incredible partners that help support our ecosystem, from recruiters, clinical trial outsourcing, clinical site management, marketing agencies, you name it. It's a huge, huge world, and you get to participate in it as a member of that community, which is fantastic. So number 1, it's a big market. Number 2, there's a lot of folks. Number 3 is that there's major contraction going on. In fact, if you've been watching the news, even today, there's an announcement of a 30% layoff of one biopharma company, which I'm very unfortunately have to report. Also, a PDUFA, a drug was delayed when it comes to approval. And we're going to be talking about PDUFAs. So for the U.S. audience, when it comes to FDA approvals of drugs, watching companies that have a PDUFA date is worth your while. We're going to talk about that today. We've got some information that we're sharing with you. If you saw it in the news feed, I gave you a link to a Google Sheet that we pulled this morning with one of our data products is called BioData Studio. We pulled it from BioData Studio this morning to give us the listing, and that's before the Agios news with their delay. Okay, so we know that it's a big market, a lot of people, there's some contraction. There are fewer spots for the same number of talented people who had pharmaceutical, biotech, biopharma experience a year ago. Industry smaller in that particular size. We need to find areas of growth. We need to find green shoots. We need to make this fast, easy, productive and effective when it comes to our process. So how are we going to do that? So we're going to use tools to our advantage. So when I say success is a shared journey, I don't mean it just socially. I mean that in a way of using tools and technology to help you. So when it comes to the job challenge, when you're thinking about the next role, whether it's aspirational, if it's functional, you need the job now, maybe you want something later, you want to identify those key companies and those roles that you want to be in. So using the news, using resources to help you find those companies is very, very important. We all get extremely busy with our jobs. In fact, at my last company, I was working at a company called Acadia. We were going 1,000 miles an hour. In fact, the last year I was at Acadia, I spent 150 nights on the road. I thought that was a lot. And having a family, it certainly was a lot and took a toll on a lot of people. But you're just so enveloped in the work. So the time comes to make a change. It's like, well, wait a second. All I knew was Acadia and delayed flights for how long? And so I can relate to the feeling of you've been doing hard work, you've been doing important work. How do you look around and say, well, where's my field of play? So you want to identify some key companies that are interesting to you. So we've got different tools to help us find these different jobs. We've already talked about that yesterday. You can go ahead and watch the replay. When it comes to that, when you think about that short list of companies, consider your experiences, which are important, but also where you want to be. You deserve to grow. I don't think that major decision makers at, for example, oncology companies, I've got many friends who are in the C-suite at different oncology companies, and they will say, it is certainly nice for people to understand the people and the process in oncology when it comes to hiring folks who have that experience. However, 98% of the job description includes needing the skills, but also the potential to fulfill other obligations, which don't necessarily tie to having deep, long, decades-long experience in oncology. You can move from another therapeutic area over. It's just a matter of how do we get past that initial system. And what did we talk about yesterday? What was that system? The system's designed for what in the beginning? If you want to use the questions as a way to chat on the platform, I said yesterday that we need to understand that this recruiting system in the first 80–90% of it is designed for what? What's that word? Go ahead and put it in the chat. When we know that, excuses like I don't have 10 years of neurology experience, I'm going for a neuro job, it is a reason why people might, what's the word? Eliminate me from the process. We need to find a different way in. And success being a shared journey, boy, it'd be really great if I had contacts inside that company that made that elimination component completely irrelevant, because they know that 98% of that job, what needs to be done, I can do because of the skills and talents and potential that I bring to the table. Okay, so when we identify those companies, where do we want to go? What do we want to leverage? Where do we want to be? Let's shortlist those companies. So putting together a comprehensive list makes a lot of sense. And you get tools to do that. You can certainly scour the news. There are different industry reports out there. We have different reports that we put on medicinethemarket.com, which is our industry media site. And you can also use Jobs AI to help you, with that. So if you think about Jobs AI, if you want to go to company intel, you can start. I was just actually playing with Jobs AI with this Agios announcement. So I asked it, "What's today's announcements for Agios mean?" And it talks about the PDUFA delay, which is kind of interesting. So if I want to go into a new chat, let's see here. I think I've got, yeah, which biopharma companies are leading oncology research and what recent developments that they made. We could click on that as a prefab answer. Give me a list of neurology companies in the United States. Sorry for the sloppy typing. So we'll have the AI go ahead and get to work for us while we're chatting. Okay. So in that, think about getting that list together, and we need to put that list somewhere. We need to manage that list. So think about, how are you going to aggregate those companies and maybe get some alerts on them and what have you. When you have that list of companies, you may want to create some sort of system to get through this process. So if we want the process to be fun, easy, and productive, and certainly most importantly effective, let's think about how we would do that. When you're in the job search, nothing feels worse than when you're in the process, and let's say things are uncertain at your job right now. Let's say you got downsized at your job. Nothing's worse than feeling alone. Nothing's worse than feeling like this is all on you. When it comes to managing the job search process, I'm asking you, please use tools to carry the weight of the detail, carry the weight of the progress, carry the weight of the documentation. Don't keep it up here. You need to free up your mind to think about you, to think about your friends and family, to think about the moment, whatever that is you're doing. Don't weigh yourself down in that process with trying to remember all the little details. Like, okay, it feels like I talked to that person 8 days ago. What did we really talk about? What was that email that I sent? What date did I apply for that job? No. I'm just saying, no more of that. Okay, so we got, you see the Jobs AI came up with a list of companies for me, and that's fun. Back to me. My favorite view on a video screen. For those of you who know me, hopefully you're laughing with me right now and not just at me like everybody else. I really want you to use documentation to carry the weight of the nuance in the process. They say, you measure what matters, or a variation, of that. Use the documentation to carry the load of these details. Do not spend any more mental energy on that than you have to. Don't rely on. Remember, what's the Chinese proverb? The palest ink will outlast the strongest mind. Okay, I'm not trying to be overly philosophical with everybody here, but just use your documentation. Stop relying on your memory to remember where you are in the process if you're playing with multiple companies. So if you're tracking 10 companies, and then you ultimately end up tracking 5, 10, 15, 20 applications, whatever it may be, use your documentation. So you'll see in today's PDF, which in the event app, there is a link. You're going to see the news feed. You're also going to see a PDF with resources. There's a slide deck we produced for you in there. There's a link to a Google Sheet. Google, if you ask Google, most people who have a computer have a Gmail account. So we're going to use Google Sheets, share it. You're just going to copy this. You could always download it for Excel if that's what you really are into. The how-to guide. And what we did is we created just a sample job tracker. Very basic. My goodness, when it comes to complex, high-stakes things, simplicity is the hero. So this is just very, very simple. Your date, the job title, company name, job posting URL, put it in there, your contact and referral name. You can click on this button and create the status. So you can create a copy of this. You can't mess up the template. Create a copy for yourself. Put it in Excel or use Google Sheets. I don't care. Um, but just use something like this. You may have your own system, and that's awesome. But for those who don't, I hope that this is helpful. So go ahead and take a look at it. And it's even got a dashboard if you use Google Sheets. It'll see how many jobs you're tracking, how many you applied for based on your status. It's just a fun way to get important information out of your head. Put it on the sheet, not in your head. We've got other things to do, life to live, important things to accomplish. Okay, so now that we've done a little bit of that tracking, let's think about what's the next thing. We've got a system to track stuff. Now let's find stuff to populate it in, okay? And that's where I kind of go back to Jobs AI. So if you'll follow me over here back to Jobs AI, I'm in the company Intel widget here. Okay, so you can click on company Intel, and what you're going to see is, I can ask it a bunch of questions. I just got a bunch of names of these companies. I can copy that. I can download. I can start to track them. If you're into Google Alerts, we're not going to spend time on that today, but you can just literally Google Alerts, and then you can, if you wanted to get a Google alert on Fulcrum Therapeutics, Google will let you know, hey, they had a press release. Something came up, a change in their website. You can start to track these companies. But grab the companies, and these will be the short list of organizations that represent high interest to you that you may want to look for jobs at or investigate further, or even better, like to network into. So I'm going to go back to company Intel, and I'm going to start a new chat, and I could say, as a potential employee, what should I be concerned about if I work for Neurocrine? Ask this. So part of the value proposition with Jobs AI, as we discussed yesterday, there's a lot of things that you could get out of Jobs AI that you could get elsewhere. Absolutely. Google search, Perplexity, ChatGPT, all this stuff. Awesome. Go ahead and do that. It's fantastic. And many of those things have free functionality. For people who don't want to train and retrain AI to give you context, to understand my industry, to understand the nuances, to understand, like, when I ask about a marketing job to ChatGPT and it doesn't have all the context, it's going to give you general advice. Jobs AI is completely tuned for pharma and biotech. Full stop. We have 50,000 different job listings that part of the bots are trained on. We've got a list of 2,000 pharma companies and their pipelines that's in some of the training data. This is completely specialized. And on this platform, which is secure, it's private, no one can see your information, it's not used for training data. If you decide to save conversations, you can come back and build upon them. This is a convenience play with technology. I thought about what problems would I have. I talked to 100 incredible people in biotech and pharma right now that I've worked with for many, many years. And I got their point of view on, like, what is painful in the process of using technology to help you manage all of the entities of a job search process. And based on all that feedback, I give you Jobs AI at medicinemarket.com. Okay, cool. So as you can see, this gave me some information on Neurocrine, things to go ahead and think about. So I would take this step to help me. Identify, do I want to, sorry for the camera change, to help me figure out, do I want to keep Neurocrine on my list or not? By the way, sorry about the change in the camera. This is live and all the peccadillos that go with it. Okay, so is that cool? Is that helpful to you? Let me know in the chat. Is doing that sort of research, having some sort of template to get the weight of information keeping out of your head helpful? Is using something like Jobs AI to do some company research on the company itself, its pipeline? Why would I want to work there? Would that be helpful? Let me know in the chat. That would be great. So now let's shift gears and talk about people. Okay. So on the people side, say we've got the opportunity to interview with somebody. We're gonna have a phone screen. We heard about a job, and turns out Frank Dolan's going to be the boss. Like, whoa, I don't know Frank. Let me find out what the deal is. How do I prepare for him? What would his personality profile be? How can I best communicate with these folks? From coming from the science side all the way to the commercial side, one of the most important attributes that we could possibly have in the biopharma industry is our ability to effectively communicate with others. Think about all of the different stakeholders that we have to communicate to: patients, payers, providers. We have folks with incredibly deep scientific discipline. They have a very unique and special and beautiful way of thinking. We have some wily and incredibly creative marketing and salespeople. They communicate a certain way. Everyone knows what it's like to communicate with someone ineffectively, especially when it's coming at you. You know how that feels. So, how do I, as a candidate, stranger, prepare myself for a high stakes conversation with someone that I don't know? Okay, why don't you go to Interviewer Intel in Jobs AI? Check that out. Oh my goodness, did someone build something about that? Sure enough, they did. What I'm going to do is I am going to put in my LinkedIn profile, and I'm going to tell Jobs AI, like, success is a shared journey. I need technology to share the journey here and do some work for me. It's going to go out. It's going to take a second. It's going to go out and it's going to fetch my public profile on LinkedIn. Now, not everyone has a LinkedIn profile. Not everyone has everything on their profile public. So there's some limitations to the tool. But based on that, this is going to go out and fetch some information and help me think about how I might want to communicate with this particular individual. So what's fun about this is it gives you a chance to prepare yourself to have that conversation with the potential interviewer. So let me go back. I'm sorry, I took that off the screen. So here we are. It's telling me about me. But imagine doing this with the panel that you found out you're interviewing with in Atlanta next week. Think about getting a calendar hold with some stranger from Bridge Bio that's going to be doing the initial phone screen. Not even the hiring manager. You're not even sure how this person's involved in it. It's like, okay, well, I need to check this person out. This could be very, very helpful to enable you to craft your story, think about thoughtful questions, align to the interests of the other individual, and nail it. I just want you to be successful. And can I make a quick comment while we're working here? Because we've got a lot to accomplish in the next few minutes. But I just want to pause and just say one thing. I need you to know my goal is for you to use something like jobs.medicine2market.com with all the job listings and jobsai.medicine2market.com for the least amount of time possible. That's my goal. My goal is to be your acquaintance forever, but to do work on the job search for the shortest time possible. That's my goal. That's what good looks like, because I think that you'll be a lot more excited about helping our community and sharing our message at medicine2market.com with our jobs and our jobs AI if it turns out it's highly effective for you. So I want you to know, I want you to use this for the shortest time possible, but I think it'll be really, really helpful for you. I use Interviewer Intel all the time when I'm interviewing folks for some of our thought leadership articles. And I've got to tell you what, I found myself so much more productive after doing that. So is that fun? Is that cool? All right, great. So we've done company intel to research more on the companies because we're making our short list. Next up, we're thinking about the people that we might interact with, whether we're interviewing with them, whether we just want to do general research. Interviewer Intel doesn't care why you put in the name of the person or their LinkedIn profile. It could care less. It just knows that you have a biopharma interest. This is a biopharma specialized AI data studio, and it's going to help answer the questions that you have on what it can find out about that person ethically and within the public domain. So next up, remember, you got the resume coach in here. So you can put in your resume, you can put the job description and find out what will the applicant tracking systems might flag. How could you improve this in some way? No one should go alone on this journey. Use technology, as being the success part of the shared journey. You let this technology help you upgrade your resume. Always be a truth teller. Never misrepresent yourself. But you do have to package you as a value proposition as a candidate to these organizations effectively. And then you've got something like Interview Coach, where you can talk more about your background, the job, and it'll do an interview simulation, with you, by the way. And I just want to point to something right here. So if you see in the bottom of Jobs AI here on several of these text boxes, there's a paperclip. So you can upload a file like a doc, like a PDF. But on some of them, like the Interview Coach, there's a microphone. So whether you're on mobile or on desktop, you can click this and you can talk to it. Now it'll give you text responses back, but you can talk to this. I find this incredibly effective. The feedback since we added this 2 weeks ago has been unbelievably positive, because sometimes we struggle to type out what we're thinking. Sometimes we just want to just freeform and talk it out. This is a really cool way to go ahead and do that. So check that out. And there's a bunch of other tools you can play with as well. I want to bring you back to one thing before we start to wrap up with my investment in you and this opportunity we have moving forward and previewing day 3. Anyone who's considering jobs in biopharma is going to have utility in going to jobs.medicineandmarket.com, which is our curated list of companies that we think reasonably high of. There are some companies we are not a fan of and we don't list their jobs. But for the most part, there's a ton of companies that are represented. The roles in those companies that are full-time are represented. We don't have internships or contract jobs currently built into our technology. But if you go to jobs.medicineandmarket.com, you may not need Jobs AI now, and that's fine, but it'll be there for you. So if you take a look at the menu bar on top, you get the jobs home. That's where we are. It's got the list of all the jobs. Currently, there are 3,857 live jobs. Okay. You can go to Jobs AI. You can click on that. That'll bring you over there. You can return to the news site. That's the main Medicine and Market, website. Or you can go to VoiceBot. Now, I'll tell you, part of a homework assignment, you should play with this because I think it's crazy cool. This VoiceBot, see this little orb in the lower right corner? It can talk to you about your interests. So whether you're hiring people or you're trying to get hired, it'll have a conversation with you. Now there's a time limit on it because this stuff's pretty expensive, and right now it's free. But there's going to be a full-blown voice bot that you can talk back and forth with that's going to be available on a future version of Jobs AI, which if you decide to upgrade, because we've got a special offer, if you want lifetime access to Jobs AI, remember, my goal is for you to have it for the shortest time possible. If you want to pay regular price, which is $150 a month, you can. That will be the price moving forward. But being a part of this challenge, you can upgrade unlimited access, lifetime usage, and support us in building this product forward for $97 US. It's an investment in the tool so we can have it there for so-called future generations. We're doing some incredible upgrades, and to get the membership higher, if you want to be a part of that, we would A, love the support. B, I think you're going to get a ton of value out of it. And number 3, I'm not offering that price again to anybody. This is what it's going to. It's a hell of a promotion, in my opinion. And we're going to have this full-blown voice chatbot involved as well, so you'll be able to go ahead and play with that. So with that, okay, we covered a lot of ground today. So in my investment in you, I've got 7 one-on-one 15-minute slots I'm willing to share with you. You invested your time and treasures with me. I'm willing to do it with you. There's a limited number of those. We've got the booking link that just went out on the platform. Go ahead and check that out. That's number 1. Number 2 is consider upgrading Jobs AI to the one-time offer. You have lifetime access, and we want to build this tool up big time. So if you invest in us, we'll invest in you. That is for sure. And then the third piece here, before we preview tomorrow is that I want you to remember today's theme is success is a shared journey. Okay, so don't go this alone. You need your network to come alive. You need your technology to come alive. You need your resources to carry the weight of the heavy things, so you can focus on you, focus on your performance, and focus on the moment to do great things. I hope that you feel like we covered a lot of ground to make this a shared journey for you, so you can be successful with your job search. If you want more help, if you end up upgrading to the lifetime access of Jobs AI, we have a weekly meetup. You can participate anonymously or you can participate on screen. I completely understand both use cases, but we have a group meetup where we're going to talk about the updates of what's happening in the industry week over week. I will give that to you for free for the rest of this year if for those people that sign up this week for the lifetime access of Jobs AI. If you need more one-on-one, we do have that available as well. So if you go to Jobs AI under products, if you need some one-on-one coaching, we can do something. Once again, the goal is to do this for the least amount of time possible, so you're super happy and you tell everybody else. But if you want that one-on-one coaching, we do have that. And for this cohort, I will promise to be on those calls with you as we enroll more people moving forward. We have a network of pharma experts that will be a part of that as well. But we're going to discount that for this particular cohort if you want to be a part of that. So if you want to go it alone, great tools that are out there, lots of free ones, lots of resources, use them. If you want that success is a shared journey component and you want a bit of a community, you also want some tools and resources, I encourage you to be a part of the Jobs AI piece. If you want more one-on-one coaching, this is for people who are looking for $300,000 a year up jobs in pharma. Help me understand the market, help me understand my packaging, help me prepare for these conversations. We're not recruiters. We are not incentivized to place you anywhere, but we can help coach and guide and elevate you. If you're interested, we're happy to help if that's what you need. What I want is every talented person to have the opportunity that they deserve, and I want every company to have a culture of innovation. And I think we're a little bit closer to that, especially after day 2 of our 3-day BioPharma Challenge. So tomorrow, you're going to hear about how we bring this all together and really take off. So we're going to talk more about some certain companies and some opportunities that are coming up. And if you want to hear about one of my new projects, so it's called Project Spyglass. This is going to be an incredible suite of tools for AI, for pharma executives that include AI and access to data sources. It's meant for more of your day-to-day job. This thing is crazy cool. It's not available yet, but if you want to hear more about it, I'm going to reveal it to you for the first time. And if you want to be a beta user and try it out for free while we're testing some stuff out, I'll give you a chance to do that based on tomorrow. So with that, let's have an amazing rest of the day. We're going to make our short list of companies. We're going to play with Jobs AI. We're going to get the weight out of our brain when it comes to documentation and use tools, sheets, and trackers to take care of that. We're going to focus on incredible opportunities, and let's do this as a community. So on that note, thank you for sharing your time and treasures with me. Tomorrow's big. Can't wait to see you then. I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a great day.